Hey guys, Dean here. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the AVP mod, aka the Alien vs Predator mod. So buckle up, it's time to kill some aliens. So as you can see, I have a pretty cool HUD interface on my screen. That's because I am actually a Marine. But the first section of this video is going to be going over some of the weapons and items in the AVP mod. Now this mod is kind of notorious for having pretty poor documentation, so it's kind of hard to learn about the mod. But I want to show you some of the mod's features over here. So this is a pretty cool mod. I'm kind of messing around with a sniper rifle right now, which I'm spamming, but there's some really cool stuff. So let's take a look. So first of all, we have our Marines armor set, which looks pretty nice. So I'm going to show you the armor sets first and the weapons in relation to the classes which they actually belong to. So this is the Marine suit. As you can see, this is the tactical gear which we can equip. This is the semi-automatic sniper rifle. Now we have a few different weapons too, and I'm actually going to use some of these weapons on some aliens. I don't want to show you all of the aliens just yet, so I'm just going to spawn a few aliens just to start off with, right? So let's just spawn some basic xenomorphs. I'll spawn these xenomorph drones. This is literally just so I don't ruin all of the mobs in the section which is not about the mobs. And look how cool these guys are, right? So the sniper rifle is pretty cool. I wouldn't really recommend it at close range. Then we have the incinerator. So when we hold this down, it's just a flamethrower, right? We can just burn down these xenomorphs. And it kills them kind of quickly. But these guys are pretty powerful. Then we have the incinerator unit. This fires a spread on the ground. It's kind of like a bazooka which breaks out into flames. Then we have the 88 mod 4, which is like a sidearm pistol. In this mod, you left click to hold the iron sights down so you can look down the weapon, and then you right click to fire, which is kind of weird if you think about it because you usually right clicks to aim in. But there's quite a few weapons, as you can see, which are kind of powerful. We have the M4 carbine, which the fire rate is pretty quick. This is a rapid weapon. And then the semi-auto sniper again. Then this is the weapon which most people are going to be familiar with from the films, the Alien films. This is the M41A Pulse Rifle. So this is also a really quick fire rate weapon. I think the damage values might be very similar to the M4, but it doesn't really show. And as you can see, this is the typical Marine weapon. So if you're fighting normal xenomorphs in this mod, it's kind of a breeze as a Marine. But when you get to the huge boss ones, that's where you have a problem, and you'll see that later. Then we have the M56 Smart Gun. This is kind of like a miniature Gatling gun. It's kind of like a portable Gatling gun, but we hold it kind of like by the side of our character. And this shoots super fast too. Now, if I go into survival mode, and I know what you're thinking, absolute madman, right? Because I'll probably die. If I go into survival mode, this is how much damage these guys do to me. And also, you'll note that in survival mode, I don't have ammo. You do need ammo for these. I'm just in creative mode, which means I don't have to have ammo clips stacked in my inventory. And then the last one which we can use is the AK-47 in terms of the human weapon. So let's try that on some more xenomorphs. This is a pretty satisfying weapon too. It seems to do substantially less damage though than the M4 and the Pulse Rifle. It doesn't really do much damage at all, but it's still really cool. Now I know it's unfair on these aliens, but this is just to showcase the weapons. I would die pretty quickly because I don't have any of my gear on anymore. Now I'm going to show you some other troop gear, more Marine gear, and then we'll move on to the Predator gear. So this is Mark 50 gear. So this is, I believe, some kind of like hazmat suit, or at least it looks like it, which looks kind of cool. We have like a glass visor over here. It looks like some type of industrial craft or tech mod suit. We have advanced combat gear too. So this is kind of like the normal combat gear, but it's just an advanced set. So this has a glass visor too, just like the last previous gear set I showed you, but this is more kind of heavily armored gear. So this is kind of like the heavy version of the first set I showed you for Marines, I guess. And then we have alien armor. So I think this is craftable from the alien drops. I'm pretty sure this is human gear, so when you kill aliens they drop items and we can craft this. So you basically are wearing the shell of a xenomorph alien. So when you're wearing a xenomorph suit, you look pretty badass, and honestly it kind of like echoes the fact that you're slaying these big aliens. So it's equally as cool. I think if you're a predator, that'd be kind of cool to wear. Then we have the Predator gear. So in Aliens vs Predator, you have the Predators, which is what they're referred to in the movies by the humans, but the species name is Yautja, or Yautja, which is basically the name of the actual aliens. So this is the suits they wear. So these guys are the ones who hunt the aliens, right? So those xenomorphs which we fought, these guys actually just hunt them for fun. So I'm going to show you the weapons which they actually use, and they use some pretty cool weapons. And just like before, we're just going to kill basic xenomorph drones. We don't want any problems, but just look at this suit of armor. I don't know about you, but I definitely wouldn't be wearing this one than the other set we had. So we have this Celtic gear over here, these weapons and tools, and now I'm going to show you them in action. So I forgot to show you this before when I was actually using the Marine gear, because you would have seen a visor. I guess you saw it at the start momentarily, but when we have the Predator gear on, or the Yautja gear, we have this visor, and this basically allows you to see like an x-ray view of the aliens, which kind of makes them invisible, which is really cool. And these are tools though, so Celtic shovel, Celtic pickaxe and axe and hoe, those are tools just for Minecraft. But what we care about is this sword. So you can see this is a 3-shot to kill a normal xenomorph, so that's a pretty powerful one. And especially with the zoom mod. Now the zoom mod is the same keybind as the modes for the visor, so it can get a little bit annoying. So I'll change the visor to G. So we have the electromagnetic view. So I'm just going to spawn another alien so we can see this. The electromagnetic view, which is how we see the aliens when they look like this. We have the thermal view, which personally is my favorite. Now the aliens don't really seem to be highlighted in this view. I'm not sure, maybe if we spawn some kind of human mob. Let's spawn a villager. Maybe they'll look different. Okay, yeah, the thermal view works for villagers. Unfortunately, that villager is going to be abused now by the alien, but that's not my fault, I guess. I'm just going to leave them in the ravine. Now the alien can't get back up, which is hilarious. So that's the thermal view. Then we also have the normal view. So this is what the visor would look like normally, right? Which has that predator visor, which we used to from the movies when it shows you the point of their view, which is really cool. When you see the first Predator movie, you'll see like Arnold in the jungle, and then you'll see like it'll switch to the Predator's perspective when they're inside the trees, which just looks sick. So let's spawn some of the typical Predator weapons you're used to from the movies. These are the actual melee weapons and some of their gadgets. So we'll actually use some villagers here because these guys are very slow. They don't really typically move, and they're kind of easy prey for us. And we'll use thermal mode. So this is the Celtic spear, although we need to be from range because we don't want to trade with them. And these can be thrown. So we can throw these spears, and then we can pick them back up from the trees. And unfortunately, you don't really one-shot. They don't do too much damage when thrown, but they do quite a lot of damage on melee. Then we have wrist bracers. So this is kind of like the blade on the wrist. These braces are retractable. So you have wrist bracer and the wrist bracer blades. These can actually come out, kind of like an Assassin's Creed thing. As you can see, when we press E, it allows us to access different abilities inside this hotbar. So this is like our inventory here. We can put weapons inside here that we can use and then use them later. So then when we change the view, now we have a plasma caster over here, which actually works. And when we hold R, it actually fires. So it will shoot a normal standard beam like this, and we have to target it, but when we hold R, it'll wind up, and then we can shoot a huge beam which explodes on impact. But you have to wait for it to charge up again. So this is how we utilize these, okay? This is how we put kit inside our gadgets. But that's how to equip the weaponry as the Predator in the Predator gear. When you have the mounted turret on your shoulder, he just looks super awesome. Like, you can tell this dude has the gear to fight aliens right here. So let's spawn some, right? So we've hunted poor villagers, but let's actually spawn some aliens. So let's hunt these guys. So these guys are going to go for the villagers, and while they go for the villagers, we can go for them. So let's change our viewpoint. Electromagnetic's the one you want to use when you're hunting down these aliens in the mod. But you want to have a few weapons because when you just have the turret, it needs to charge. Let me expand my arsenal. Let me spawn some weapons because I'm going to have to hunt these guys. We'll have some laser mines. We'll have some smart discs, some shurikens. Let's just arm ourselves up. We'll also use some of these grenades, but you need to bear in mind that these are actually human weapons because I forgot to show them later. And let's go in survival mode. Okay, that was not a good idea. I'm actually going to eat some golden apples. Okay, I know the Predators don't have golden apples, but I just need to get my health up. So let's throw these discs. So we want to throw these shurikens. Okay, now I'm getting attacked. But you can see it's actually absorbing quite a lot of armor. Now that I actually have high health, you can see the armor gets absorbed. A lot of the damage gets absorbed. But the problem is when you get poisoned, over here I have poison from the aliens. That's when you really start to take damage because the poison does a lot of damage, and you can also walk over it because the aliens actually drop acid. So that's one thing you have to worry about, right? And let me now show you some of these nades because I didn't show you those. So let's spawn these xenomorph drones and let's use these nades. So we have incendiary nades first of all, which you know what they do. They break out into flames, and they also, I think this is blood, as you can see, but it may be acid. I think that's just blood. And then we have just normal nades. So these explode in impact. So it depends really which ones you want to use. But these are typically if you're a marine. I just forgot to show you these. But these do a ton of damage. I'm not sure how you actually craft them. It'd be interesting. So these are crafted off normal ingots, blaze powder, and copper ingots, which is one of the new ores. So this mod does actually have ores in it, which are findable in the world. So now I've showed you some of the weapons. Let's just take a look at some of these items inside the main category, because there's some really weird and wonderful items here. Now, like I said before, the documentation in this mod is actually quite abysmal, so it's kind of hard to figure out what to do unless you're first in creative mode like I am to actually take a look at things and how they operate. I really recommend you use just enough items in this mod so you know how to actually craft everything, because they're quite complex, and without that mod, you literally can't play the AVP mod. So we have these rack modules over here, as you can see. There's 4 of those. We have an APC. So this is basically a vehicle which we can use, which is kind of cool. This vehicle, we can drive it all around the world. It doesn't actually have that good controls though, which is kind of annoying. And also the texture is kind of abysmal. I should probably show you this on super flat mode because it doesn't really look like very good footage. But as you can see, it's also water resistant. So we can actually drive through water. We can go up terrain. But as you can see, it doesn't actually break objects. So if you're on a normal map, this is actually a terrible thing to have. If you're on a super flat world or in a big open plains biome, it might actually be worth getting an APC. But I do wish they would update it so you can actually break ground as you drive, because it's literally unusable on like 99% of Minecraft maps. Look at it just in the trees chilling right there. Then we have supply chutes. So when you spawn these down, they spawn way up in the sky and drop, and they give you equipment. These are supply crates which drop from the sky. Think of this just like when you play a battle royale game like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or H1Z1. You have airdrops and then you go to them where there's a flare and they have items in them. This is the exact same thing. Now I think these drop naturally if you don't spawn them, but I'm not entirely sure. As you can see, there's a few different ones. There's the normal Seegson supply chute, the Wayland Yutani supply chute, and the USCM supply chute. So we can spawn these and we'll get very different items. And these are going to both drop over here, and you can see they don't have items in them. The reason these don't have items in them when I spawn them is because they're not naturally spawning. When these naturally spawn or drop, however you make that happen, they will obviously have their own loot table in, which is made up of randomized items from the mod. But that's just an example of the airdrop system, which I think is pretty cool. And there's a few other items here too, which do some pretty cool stuff. So I'm actually going to show you the ore next. The reason I'm going to show you the ore is that's the most easy to understand. And a lot of the ores from this mod, you're going to need to mine and smelt to create a lot of the components which the mod uses. So I'm going to show you just a diamond pickaxe. In fact, I'll show you a diamond and an iron pickaxe and show you the toughness of the ores. So we have a few different ores here. So we have silicon, we have lithium, copper, bauxite, monazite, and cobalt. So these are the standard ores added by the mod. Most of these can actually be mined with an iron pickaxe, okay? This one, which is monazite, can't be, and also cobalt can't be. We'll need a diamond pickaxe to mine both of these, or at least a diamond pickaxe will allow you to mine these quicker because the resistance values and the hardness on these ores are very high. It takes ages to mine these. Hopefully you have a mod which has a pickaxe which is greater than a diamond pickaxe, because otherwise you're going to take ages mining each piece, just like you do with obsidian in Minecraft vanilla. And then obviously you know how to smelt bars in Minecraft. You put them in a furnace and you can smelt them into ingots. Now there's also technical gear in the mod too, like satellite dishes, sentry turrets, terminals, space gear. You can build huge big electronic systems, and there's things like cryo tubes. There's a lot of really cool blocks in this mod. This is the satellite dish. We have the sentry turret over here, which when we go inside it, you put in certain items which allows it to run. So the PCI boards, the configuration items, and then it shows you the magazine size from the ammo it retains inside of it, and you can set the targets which it will target. Okay, so you put the ammunition in here and then it shows your first line of your player's inventory. So once you put ammunition in the PCI board and set the target, this will automatically attack enemies. Then we have the terminal here. As far as I know, this is just a mostly visual block. Repulsion generator, which I believe is for electricity. Now one thing to know about this mod is the AVP mod doesn't actually support things like RF energy and Forge energy. It has its own energy system. So if you do actually try to look up how to build some of these systems, it will all be in line with the mod. It doesn't use the voltage or energy systems from other mods. We have blast doors. This kind of has a very similar placement system to DecoCraft with some of its blocks. It has an outline which shows how many blocks it takes up and where it's going to be placed for easy placing, and then we just place it down. So these blast doors are really cool. Now I believe they are redstone operated, I'm not sure, but it may require some kind of other interface from the AVP mod, but we'll just test it out over here. So if you put a standard lever next to it, it won't open these. I think these are electric powered, so you will have to open these via the AVP mod. But as you can see, they look really cool. Then these cryostasis tubes, which are basically fit for any kind of sci-fi movie. These look absolutely awesome. We have power converters over here and Tesla coils. So there is a lot of different blocks in the energy system, which I'm not going to be getting into in this mod showcase, and other cool blocks like solar panels for power generation. Now this area looks very messy, but I'm using this just to show you some of the blocks, right? Now because we dropped supply crates, these supply crate blocks are the blocks when you drop them. So those items that we drop from the sky, when they hit the ground, this is just what it is. It's just a supply crate. So this is what we dropped before. And like I said, with the other ones, when you spawn these two, they don't have loot in. You have to have the naturally spawning ones to get the loot tables. Then we have med pods. We have the gun locker, which we can actually open up and put weapons in. So let's just put some weapons inside here. As you can see, we now put weapons in, and then people who right click it can access them. And you can see some weapons down here, right? If we take them out, the weapons disappear. It's kind of hard to see. I might need to use the zoom mode. But if you look very closely, there are actually weapons inside the locker when you put them in. So it does have a visual element. So the more weapons we put in, the more weapons will display, which is really cool. So this just fills up with weapons. Then we have the ampule, which is an alien item, I believe. Now there's also a lot of decorative pieces in the AVP mod. We have different types of alien heads over here, which some of them, like I said, are a little bit glitchy based on the angle and how far away you are from them, which is just the rendering of the block. We have xenomorph skulls from slaying aliens. We have Yautja heads, or Yautja skulls, which are the predators. And these are basically just war trophies that you put inside a building. Then we have quite a lot of blocks in the mod. So there's a lot of decorative blocks and also plant types like ferns and big leaves, which you can use for decoration in this mod too, as well as a lot of different grass types which look really cool when placed on the ground. I'll show you just a few of them: special podzol, special grass, and mossy dirt. Now is probably the area of the video which you guys have been waiting for the most, and for this part of the video we're going to jump into a flat grass world because we need a flat terrain to show you all these mobs. So here I am in a house I created for a different mod showcase, but we're about to turn this world into mayhem because we're going to spawn a ton of aliens here. So we have quite a few mobs inside this mod. Now first of all, I want to show you the aliens, because if I go ahead and spawn all of these different monsters which are from opposing factions, then they're just going to go haywire and attack each other. So it's probably not a good idea to do that yet. So I'm going to try my best to spawn all these aliens. Now one thing I forgot to actually mention at the start of the video, there is actually content from the movie Prometheus, which is in the same franchise as Aliens. So it's not just an Aliens and AVP mod, it does have mobs from Prometheus if you've watched that movie too. So we have the xenomorph runner warrior. Prepare for all these sounds because there's going to be a ton of sounds the moment I spawn these. We have the trilobite, which is absolutely massive. I didn't expect it to be that big. We have the belugamorph, which I think might be a Prometheus mob, but the animations and the passive animations are really cool on these mobs. We have the Praetorian. We have the xenomorph queen, which just looks absolutely terrifying. I wouldn't want that thing even in my nightmares, even if it wasn't real, put it that way. Then we have the face hugger, which is in the movies, they latch onto the marines' faces and then they bury like a parasitic alien or eggs, and then they break out the chest as a baby alien. Pretty graphic if you haven't seen the movies. Overmorphs, which are basically the eggs. I think if we leave these here for long enough, they do actually hatch. Then we have the queen chest burster. So when aliens come out of the stomach after they've been put into the stomach through the face hugger attaching onto the face, they come out as these ugly things, although this is a bigger version. This is the queen. But you can just appreciate the 3D models in this mod just look absolutely amazing. But there's no mayhem right now because we haven't spawned any predators, but soon we're going to spawn predators and they're going to have an all-out war. So if you like videos where Minecraft mobs fight in like a huge battle, we're going to have that in a few moments after I show you all the aliens. So prepare for some action. Hopefully I don't accidentally spawn opposing factions, because otherwise things are going to kick off sooner than expected. We have the chest burster, the pred alien. We have the normal face hugger, the small one. We have the deacon shark, which should be in water because it's just it's going absolutely haywire right now. Look how quick that thing moves. That definitely should not be on land. That is a danger to every species. And also this attacks literally everything. Oh, the alien queen just stomped that thing in one hit. Then we have the adult common deacon. We have the nauticomorph. There's so many alien species I didn't realize existed. I need to rewatch these alien movies. We have the xenomorph runner. We have the goo mutant, which yet again is another type of alien that these guys just hate. Just look at this guy. He had no chance. As soon as being spawned, I literally gave him no chance. Like 7 aliens went and ripped him apart. Then we have the xenomorph warrior. Now these eggs are still here, right? So I don't think they've hatched, but maybe later in the video they might, depending on how long we take. We have the hammerpede pred alien, which I think, yeah, so this is a mix between a predator, a Yautja, and an alien. It's kind of like a crossbreed. Kind of how like you have a demigod where it's like half human, half god. This is what that is. These things look terrifying, but pred aliens, I can't remember how they're created in the movie. I don't really want to even think about how they're conceived because that's just weird on so many levels. This thing looks absolutely awesome. Now, I'm not sure if when I spawn a predator, if these will attack each other. I presume they will because xenomorphs won't attack it. But just look at that. That just looks like something from my nightmares, bro. We have octohuggers. We have overmorph eggs again, which are larger. Normal chest bursts, xenomorph Xenomorph Crushers, which is huge as well. That's nearly as big as the Queen. Xenomorph Spitters. So these guys spit acid more than the normal Xenomorphs. So these guys are particularly dangerous if you're playing as a Predator. We have these Core Pods. I don't actually know what these do. They just kind of look like animal poop. Deacons, normal deacons, just like this guy over here. I guess this is like the big brother, and then this guy's like the little brother. Look at that dude's face. He does not know where he is right now. And then the last two aliens we have are the Runner Chestburster and then the Xenomorph Drone, which is kind of like the weakling that we spawned earlier to test all the weapons out on. So let's just give a quick overview of all these aliens, just so you can see what they look like before all-out war starts happening, because as soon as I spawn these Predators, even if I spawn them like far away at first, I'm sure they're just gonna break out into Mortal Kombat. This is the last chance you're gonna have a look at general peace in this world. Now, we have humans, so I'm not gonna spawn those just yet, because we have three factions. We have the aliens, or the Xenomorph faction, we have the Predators, the Oucher. So let's just go ahead and spawn the Predators first, or let's spawn these weird like humanoid creatures that I didn't spawn before, which are from Prometheus, so engineers and space jockeys. So these are obviously opposing the aliens. I think this species created the Xenomorphs. I've never watched that movie Prometheus, so I don't actually know the lore, so you guys are gonna have to like correct me in the comments, correct my ignorance. But these guys kind of look goofy, but apparently they're powerful enough to kill Xenomorphs, so that's all we need to know. And this guy has like an elephant trunk face. Oh wait, that guy had a facehugger on him, but then the facehugger died in the acid. Okay, time to spawn the Predators, and I'm going to unleash some of them on the enemies too, right? So we have the Berserker, we have the Combat Synthetic, which is actually an android. This is a human, and then we also have the normal Yautja Predator. So as you can see, we have the Berserker and the normal Yautja, and these guys are going to go out in all-out war. I'm actually going to go ahead and spawn like tons of these guys, or well, like 4. Because I feel like the aliens will stand no chance if I spawn too many of them. Because these guys can like run pounds. They have those blasters on the shoulders. They have spears, blades. Oh, wait. Okay. That facehugger literally just killed the Predator real quick. And the other one died by this Predator. I guess they're not as powerful as I realized. Although these guys are literally leaping through the air. It's almost like a meme. Crushing everything. Wait, let's see what this army of Predators do. So we have like 5 or 6 Predators just hunting down this one Predalien. So this is the true test of power. And they're just pushing an egg. I don't know why. This one Predalien is taking on like 5 or 6 of these guys and actually nearly winning. Okay, they've just killed him. Then we have this huge big armored dude. So the Predators, it's safe to say the aliens are kind of kicking the butt right now. There's one Predator left, just man moding everything. Wait, can he kill? Oh, no, he's dead. So the Predators win that war. I guess there was too many aliens, but if you look at the number of them, there's not actually that many left. Only 2 of these guys survived. They wiped out the rest of them, but then there's 1 egg surviving. So 1 alien egg survived that all-out war. So let's make things interesting, right? So there's only a few aliens left. Let's now spawn the humans. So I'll spawn some normal Marines, and I'll spawn one of those weird androids that I just showed you. Combat Synthetics. Of all the factions, humans are weaklings. So we're going to have to outnumber the aliens by spawning a ton of humans. Now, if we spawn those Combat Synthetics, they will literally destroy everything. But if we spawn normal Marines, then the aliens kind of have a chance. Wait, where was that last alien? Well, I think they killed him. They killed him real quick. The humans are actually stronger than I thought. Okay, so before the end of the video, I want to actually see how powerful these humans are. So let me spawn a Queen, Predalien, a Predator, and one of these Spitters. And let's just see them all fight each other. So we have the humans getting absolutely wrecked by the Predator. Okay, wait. So the Predator destroyed the aliens and the humans destroyed the Predator. So they kind of are each other's kryptonite. That's kind of interesting. Also, there's this Aethon, which I think I forgot to spawn. This guy kills aliens and he also kills humans. I think this is another one of those weird like Prometheus movie aliens, but I didn't show it, so I think it's only right to give it its own spotlight. Kind of looks like a dinosaur now. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, okay. And it also flies. I did not expect that. And it's killing the horses. This thing really has no friends. Look at that thing. It's literally like a dragon. I'm just going to let that dude do his thing and just kill everything in the background. So that was the Alien vs Predator mod for Minecraft 1.12.2. Pretty crazy mod if you ask me. And I think it has some of the coolest animations and models in all of the Minecraft mods I've seen. Now, as usual, you can check out the link in the description to download this mod. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments down below. Let me know if there's anything I missed out from featuring this mod. And if you played this mod before, tell me if you liked it and why. And also let me know in the comments what mods you want me to showcase next and show off in the next video. And it's getting nighttime, so it looks like the aliens are about to come out, so I'm gonna have to sign off. Make sure to subscribe and click the like button to wish me luck.